Hey guys, I'm Vinny. This is MakiChat 14, and it's the first MakiChat on the new channel, Makify 2. So recently uploaded the Sandbox project video, and it's gotten some good responses. My mom really likes it. The kids seem to really like it. I don't know if it was clear in the video. I don't have kids, but two of my sisters have 3 kids between them, with another one on the way. And the kids are over at my parents' house a lot. My mom wanted a nice big sandbox for them to play in. They love playing in sand. So she asked if I could make one. And if you look online for sandbox designs, there's a very common one. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot sandbox. And so I took that and modified it. I came up with my own design for a 4 foot by 4 foot sandbox. And we marked it out on the living room floor and the carpet. And my mom's like, can you make it a little bigger? So redesigned it for 6 feet by 4 feet. And I'm glad we went with the bigger size. It's a good size for multiple kids. So 2 things have come up in the comment section to that video that I want to address. They're things I probably should have addressed in the original video, and I just didn't. So the first question came from Derek. You might remember Derek. He's the guy who gave me a router and a biscuit joiner and a bunch of other stuff. Really nice guy, and he asked a really good question. He asked if I use pressure treated wood. And it's something I should have addressed in the original video, but I just forgot. But the answer is I did not use pressure treated wood because we went to Lowe's. There's a Lowe's very close to my parents' house, and we got the wood there, and they didn't have pressure treated wood in the sizes I wanted. And I didn't want to mess with having to try to resize a bunch of lumber. I just wanted to be able to cut it to length and put it together and get the sandbox done in the amount of time I had, because I was visiting them. They live in Indianapolis. I live in Chicago. If you're planning on building a sandbox, you might want to think about using pressure treated lumber. It's gonna last longer than untreated lumber. Now, paint should provide some protection, but the pressure treated wood should last longer. I know the old way that was used to pressure treat wood used some pretty nasty chemicals, but I think they changed that in the early 2000s, and now the chemicals supposedly are safer. I don't know a lot about the process. If you're going to be building the sandbox for kids, you might want to look into that. Another alternative is to use a species of wood that is naturally more resistant to rot and insects, something like cedar or redwood. Those things, in my experience, aren't very common around here, but I think in other places they're more common. They're also going to be a little more expensive than just plain pine construction lumber. I got another question about the weed barrier, and I think there's some confusion over what weed barrier is. I guess in the video I just assumed people knew what it was, but if you're not a gardener or you just never come across it before, you might not know what it is. It's permeable to water. It'll let rainwater through, but it's still gonna hold the sand in the sandbox. Unlike plastic, like a plastic liner, it'll hold the sand in, but it'll also gonna trap water, which is not good. Permeability is also the reason why I made the lid like I did with the slats, with a little bit of space between the slats. Rain will come down, it'll be able to get through the slats. It'll go easily through the sand, through the weed barrier, into the ground, and not be an issue. You might be tempted to make a simple lid out of just a solid piece of plywood or something. The problem there is it rains and water is going to tend to pool up on that solid piece of wood and cause warping and rotting and kind of just be a problem. So the slats, even though it's a little more work to make, the slatted lid is, I think, a better design than just a solid piece. And you do want a lid on a sandbox primarily to keep cats out, because cats love sandboxes for certain bodily functions. Peeing and pooping. Cats love pooping in sandboxes. So you need a lid to keep cats out, and it also helps keep yard debris out as well. Now the slatted design will allow some, leaves and pine needles and things through, but I think that's just it's a trade-off I was willing to make to prevent water from pooling on the top. Okay, changing gears a little bit. Lately, I've been trying to think of ways to add value to this new channel, Makify 2. And one thing I came up with, and I think it's a really good idea, is to make playlists for each of the project videos I make. So in the design and planning stages and in the making stages, I watch a lot of YouTube videos to get inspiration, to see how other people did things, to learn new techniques. And some of those videos are really good, and some of them aren't, or just aren't very useful for that particular project. And so I thought I could make a playlist for each project video that includes other YouTube videos that I watched that I found most helpful or the most inspirational or that were really good at showing a certain technique. And I think that would be very useful for people who actually want to make the project. And then I can also include videos in those playlists that I see after the fact, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I would have saw this earlier. I can include videos that other people make if they use my plans to make something and they shoot a little video, even if it's just a little show and tell video. I think there's value in that. So the playlist will evolve over time, but I'll try to put together a core playlist for each project coming up as I do them. And I'll also try to go back in the past and make playlists for some of my older projects. But I think it'll be a useful resource for anyone who wants to do one of my projects or make something really similar to one of my projects. All right, that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi, I'm Vinny. Hey guys, I'm Vinny. This is Hey guys, I'm Vinny. Hey guys, I'm Vinny. And they're over at my parents' house all the time. And my mom wanted a nice big plate. It traps the sand in the sandbox. Okay, sand can't get through, but water can. Oh, no, we're just going with the first take. One of these days I'll learn how to talk. All right, changing gears a little bit. I've been thinking, all right, changing gears. I can pick out the best ones and then we need to, okay, start over. Wants to make something like I made, or at least something similar. They can go playlists for each of the project videos that I and one thing I came up with, and I think it's a good idea, is to make, oh my gosh, I don't know why my brain just stops working sometimes.